College football experience, Southern Miss Golden Eagles 2023 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Networks, brought to you by our very own Patreon. Score exclusive perks, content, and contests, including our NFL win totals contest with a $1,000 prize. Join today, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. What's in again? That is sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. We're also brought to you by Parlay Play. Yes, Parlay Play is a lead pipe lock for parlaying player props. Go to parlayplay.io. Use that promo code SGP for 100% deposit bonus today. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
This is Brock Purdy from Iowa State, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome. Welcome to the college football experience. Southern Miss Golden Eagles 2023 season preview. You know I love talking Southern Miss. They're one of my favorite programs, and I'm excited to be on the show talking about the Golden Eagles as Will Hall continues to build, continues to take a step in the right direction. And I can't wait for the fucking season, guys. I've been doing these previews since June. All right. We talk college football year round on the college football experience. Hopefully you're subscribed, youtube.com/the college experience. You can watch the show, but also subscribe wherever podcasts can be found. And please, 5 stars if you can. But wait, you're probably wondering just who the hell you're talking to. Well, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. I would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
Yes. Pretend it never happened and get along with your life. No. That's always the way football is. Next play, baby. Next fucking play. I think football is the great metaphor for life, you know. Stuff like that. Next play, you know, shit happens in your life. Next play. Got to use that. I feel like I'm doing shtick here, but no, I'm excited to talk Southern Miss football. There's certain programs in America, first off, that make college football awesome. I know people think, well, Ohio State and Alabama, look, nothing against those programs. Those programs are fun, and I love the history. I love watching the Michigan-Ohio State game in the Iron Bowl every year. But college football is more than that. College football is, and I hope these TV execs don't forget that, because one of my favorite schools throughout my life of watching college football, which started late 80s, early 90s, is the Southern Miss Golden Eagles. And they're perfect to me. They're what college football should be. You know, I throw out Boise State and Fresno State, and you know, and some say this is Southern Miss is the original Boise State. Go look at some of the teams they beat in the 80s, 90s, and you know, so on and so on. But yeah, I love this program. And I say this as an East Carolina fan. You know what I mean? ECU doesn't really like Southern Miss, but I love them. I think they're great for the sport. For someone that covers it nationally, the whole sport, Southern Miss. And then really the Sun Belt. The Sun Belt's identity, you know, 10 years ago was not what it is now. Now I love it. I think it's one of those. They're what the heart of college football is to me. You know, Sun Belt, MAC, maybe some Mountain West, all in the FBS, where they don't have a scattered ass conference. Look, I like watching all the conferences. I love college football. I'll watch a D3 game tomorrow. You know what I mean? But I like the shoe print. I like, you know, the footprint of college football, which is regional rivalries, and Sun Belt leans into that. And Southern Miss, everything about, like I said, they remind me of ECU in certain ways. They remind me of Boise State in certain ways, but they're also a really good football team. They have great culture. You know what I mean? Great fan base. The real Rock, by the way. Look, I love App State. I really do. But that's not the real Rock. The real Rock is in Southern Miss. Welcome to the Rock, as Sean Connery once said. Folks, I mean, I'm really excited to break down this team because I hit on the over last year with them. I locked them up. It was a little more it was a little more intense than I thought it would be. I think the win total was sitting there at 4.5 or 5. And the bowl win doesn't count. So like it was a sweat. And I thought out the gate when they lost the 4 overtime game to Liberty, which I thought Liberty had no business winning. Thought Southern Miss was the better team that day. I thought I might be doomed. But you know what? How about the huge win at Tulane? Will Hall against his former employer, Willie Fritz. But then after that, they kept it close. They barely got out of an ugly win against Arkansas State. They beat Texas State. They beat Louisiana. They beat ULM. But they did suffer some tough losses. 3-point loss to Coastal Carolina, 7-point loss to South Alabama, and they took care of Rice in the bowl game. I hit on the over. Can't give me shit. And look, I think Will Hall continues to build in the right direction. I'm excited to talk about it. I think he's a good coach, and I think it's going to work out. He's actually only had one losing season in all of his time there. So, I think he's a good coach, and I think that the program trajectory is heading in the right direction, and I'm excited to talk about them. We're going to break down on this very episode. We're going to talk offense, defense, special teams, transfer portal, and then go game by game on the Southern Miss schedule. Hopefully you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/The College Experience. And I mean, I think how about that win against Tulane? That's a huge win. Biggest win of the season. And I think good things are coming. I think they got the right guy for the job right now. Let's build on it, baby. Let's build on it. All right, look, before we get to all that, I want to tell you that the College Football Experience Southern Miss Golden Eagles 2023 season preview is brought to you by Sports Gambling Podcast Patreon. Yes. Look, sign up for the Patreon to get exclusive access to a contest, including the NFL win totals contest with $1,000 first place going to the winner. Besides season-long contests, we also have weekly contests just for the patrons, plus a monthly SGP Stories podcast, completely ad-free and full of behind-the-scenes stories from SGPN. There's even a Discord channel just for the patrons. Only you out there in the universe can prevent corporate gambling. Do your part and sign up today. We've been rocking independence since 2011, and if you dig us and all the people we've had on, and we'll tell you some good stories behind the scenes about, I don't know, Lenny Dykstra or Mike Leach. Rest in peace. Great friend of ours. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/Patreon. That's SportsGamblingPodcast.com/Patreon. All right, we are back on the College Football Experience. And look, I think before we dive into the offense, who's returning, the defense, the special teams, I think it's only right to start with the transfer portal. That's been the rhythm of our show because 5-6 years ago, we were doing the show. You don't really have to key in on the transfer portal. Now it's a crazy times at college sports. So let's go to who is departing the great program of Southern Miss. Quarterback Ty Keys decided to hit the portal. He hasn't landed anywhere yet, according to 24/7 Sports. Trey Lowe, though, the third did. He landed at the Liberty Flames, who played Southern Miss a year ago. Jamie Chadwell scooping him up. Wishing the best for Trey Lowe. Cameron King, he's an offensive lineman. He's heading out to Houston Christian. Defensive lineman DJ Burris is in the portal, hasn't landed anywhere. Linebacker Mario Wilburn is in the portal, and he has not landed anywhere. Tight end Mitchell Sellers is in the portal. He hasn't landed anywhere, but that's it. So I can tell you this. Okay, you lose 2 experienced or somewhat experienced quarterbacks. Cameron King on the O-line. I'm not freaking out here. Now let's talk about what's coming in because I think you're going to be excited. Linebacker Colby Cage coming in from the Arizona Wildcats. Nice little Power 5 linebacker coming in. Quarterback Holman Edwards from the Houston Cougars. I'm excited about this kid because Houston, obviously Clayton Tune, he backed up Clayton Tune. Clayton Tune's now with the Arizona Cardinals and impressing in camp. I think it's a good get, and this is what they needed. If you asked me a year ago, what did they lack? Actually, the past 2 years, really. quarterback play. I mean, they had Frank Gore Jr. playing quarterback a lot of times, and Frank Gore Jr., don't get me wrong, he's a guy I love. He's a good football player, and I like him a lot. But kind of was missing that it factor. Holman Edwards comes in from the Houston Cougars. Also, Billy Wiles comes in from the Clemson Tigers. 2 quarterbacks there that I think will probably be the top 2 on the depth chart if I had to guess. I kind of expect Holman Edwards to start. We'll talk about that in a second. Defensive end Eric Thomas coming over from the Arkansas Razorbacks. Sam pulled poor Pittman. He normally loads up on the line of scrimmage. Like if you told me it was a safety or something, I'd be like, Line of scrimmage for Arkansas, I feel like, is always solid. So I like that bringing in Eric Thomas. Safety MJ Daniels coming over from the Ole Miss Rebels. Offensive tackle Gabe Cavazos coming in from Mississippi State and the Bulldogs. Hail State. Rodriguez Clark, the running back from Memphis, coming in. And then safety Dylan Lawrence also coming in from Mississippi State. So I think they did a great job in the portal getting those guys. And I would say that is a home run win. I thought they brought in way more talent than what departed in the portal. So I will grade that as a win. I think it's a good time. And by the way, this program, they are the original Boise State. You go back and look, you can go back. Oh, I don't know. They had an undefeated season in 58. They have just a rich culture at this program. So glad to see them get back to winning. Will Hall 7-6 season a year ago. Previously it was 3-win seasons, but before that, Jay Hobson, Todd Monken, they were winning games here. So let's talk about this offense from a season ago, because they average about 25.3 points per game. And I think for them to take the next jump to being a contender in the Sun Belt, they have to get higher than that. And 82nd in scoring offense a year ago, 78th in rush offense, 96th in pass offense, starting at the 99th best offense. Look, you got to get better than that. I understand this is the natural progression. You shouldn't be disappointed by that, by the natural evolution of what's happening under Will Hall, but I think it's time to jump to the next level. Looking at the offensive side of the ball, as I alluded to, I believe it's going to be Holman Edwards at the quarterback spot. And I should also say that I believe this, and I heard Will Hall speak about this at Sunbelt Media Day. I believe this is his best team since he's been there from a roster standpoint. So returning 9 starters on offense is huge. And then getting Holman Edwards, and then, like I said, Billy Wiles. They also have Zach Wilkie back there. So the quarterback play should be a lot better. Frank Gore Jr. is back. He is a stud. Second team All Sunbelt a year ago. Obviously the son of legendary running back in the NFL, Frank Gore. I love that. I think they're going to be solid right there. The wide receiving core. This is one where I want to see a step forward again. All right. Obviously losing Brownlee was huge, but Jacarius Caston, I think it is. Jacarius Caston is a receiver I think they're excited about. He had 4 starts a season ago. Also Brandon Hayes behind him, but also Ty Mims. All right. Ty Mims had a couple starts as well a season ago. Taquan Henderson. Also Chandler Pittman is one guy to watch out for on the offense as well, even though he only got 2 starts a season ago. Tight end Cole Cavallo is back, and I think that's one you should keep an eye on. I think he could be a key piece for this offense this year. The offensive line, returns 4 of 5 starters. You gotta love that. The one guy that was not there a year ago starting is Kyron Barnes, who did get 5 starts. This guy came over from James Madison. So love what they got going on the offensive line. Really, to take the next step forward, you got to see the passing become key. I don't even know if the receivers are that bad. I mean, you have the stats aren't amazing, but once again, when you have the quarterback issues that Southern Miss has had over the past couple of years, it's hard to really blame that on the wideouts. So, I think obviously it sucks losing Brownlee, who was a stud, but I think there's room to be optimistic here despite losing Brownlee. The quarterback play is going to be better. The passing game will be better. The receivers will probably put up better stats. So let's talk about the defensive side of the ball, because They only gave up 23.5 points per game a season ago. Yeah, 44th in scoring defense, 46th in rush defense, 80th in pass defense. I think that's what you circle for improvement heading into this year. Charting at the 58th best defense in America. Still a solid year for, I would say a very solid year for the defense coordinator. Despite and look, they have to break in a new DC this year with Dan O'Brien, who was coming over from the Georgia Bulldogs. So I forgot to key in on the offensive coordinator, Sam Gregg. That was his first year a season ago after he was with the Liberty Flames. So Will Hall, though, still calls the plays. But, the defensive coach, Dan O'Brien, coming in, and that should be an interesting watch. Obviously, Georgia's been a defensive juggernaut in the SEC and nationally as well. Defensive side of the ball returned 6 starters from a season ago. Okay, let's talk about it. The defensive line, the line of scrimmage in general, I'm sold on here. I think it's their best line. Like, along the line of scrimmage, it's the best they've been at some time. Defensive line, Kristen Booth is back at the defensive end spot. This guy, 13 games a season ago. 13 starts, that is. He's good. You add Eric Thomas, the transfer from Arkansas, who might be able to get some burn there. I love the nose guard or the nose tackle, Jalen Williams, 4th team All-Sun about a year ago. I think he's due to have a big year. Defensive end Quentin Bivens, also transfer from Ole Miss. This is a guy, I think the D-line is going to be solid. I think it's going to be solid. Now, the linebacking core, you return Avery Habas, and this is a guy, 17 starts, 89 tackles. Him and Hayes Maples are back. One of the greatest names out there, Swayze Bozeman, is a senior linebacker that's going to have to step it up. He's got 19 starts. That would be the linebacking core should be all right. It should be all right. I still think, to me, the biggest question mark on this defense, probably the defensive backfield. They were 80th in pass defense a season ago, and they lost a lot. They only returned free safety Jay Stanley, who formerly played at Ole Miss. They have a lot of former Ole Miss and Mississippi State guys. So that's going to be the big question mark here. The other safety, Dylan Lawrence, is a guy that transferred over from Mississippi State, played in 25 games with Mississippi State. So it's going to be big to see him. They also have Elijah Sabatini, an Ole Miss transfer. There's a lot of Ole Miss and former Ole Miss and Mississippi State players on this team. The corners, Michael Caraway, who got 1 start a season ago. He's going to be expected to be a lot better this year. Also, Brandon Tolles. He's another Mississippi State transfer. So it's going to be important to see those guys, in action. I think they're the biggest question mark. Also, Jay Jones, another guy you should watch. But I expect the defense to be better. I just think the depth is better than it's been in some time. So I know the offense will be better. Like, I really believe the offense will be a lot better. The defense, maybe minimally, but I do think better because of the depth. So I know the schedule presents a couple challenges, but we'll get to it. But yeah, I think this team's better offensively and defensively, and I'm bullish on them this year. They are breaking in a freshman kicker, Connor Gibbs. Now, that's always concerning. Play a lot of close games like they did a year ago. That can cost you some games. Now, we'll see. But also Bryce Lofton, the new punter there. Okay, well, special teams, kind of a question mark. But yeah, let's get to it. We're going to go game by game on the schedule. But before we do that, I want to tell you that the college football experience, Southern Miss Golden Eagles 2023 season preview episode, it's brought to you by Parlay Play. Yes, Parlay Play is a great way to get down on your favorite parlayed player props. And football season is right around the corner, and Parlay Play will have all of your favorite props. Parlay Play is available in a ton of different states, including California and Texas, plus our good friends up north in Canada. Hello, Parlay Play is available in a bunch of the Canadian provinces. And when you sign up with our code, you'll get a sweet little bonus to get started. So what are you doing? Hop on in. A parlay that I've already mentioned for week 0 college football is I like the over in the San Jose State USC game, which I believe is at 63.5 last I saw. And I like Jacksonville State and Rich Rodriguez to get their first win in the FBS. Well, as an FBS member, I know they beat Florida State a couple years ago, but They host UTEP week 0, and I think they get it done against the Miners. Parlay that thing. Head over to parlayplay.io. Use that promo code SGP for 100% deposit bonus up to $100. Once again, that's parlayplay.io. Promo code SGP. All right, we are back on the college football experience, and here we are, folks. If you're watching on YouTube, and folks, Southern Miss fans, what are you doing? All right, subscribe to our podcast wherever podcasts can be found. We are the College Football Experience. But just know I also host the College Basketball Experience, and I am optimistic about Southern Miss basketball this year. Loved their fans last year. There was a fun story last year. I think they're continuing to build in the right direction. And also, I host the College Baseball Experience. Southern Miss always keeps a great baseball program. Also, I host the FCS College Football Experience. Maybe you're an Alcorn State fan. All right, whatever. Hop on over there. Check us out. FCS football. You could argue the heartbeat of college football as well as the Sun Belt, MAC, and Mountain West. But yeah, subscribe, check it out, and I think you'll dig all that stuff. We come together as one on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience. Subscribe over there, tell a friend, and please, if you can, hop on over to iTunes and give us 5 stars as a little review and 5 stars. That's all we're asking for. Come on. Folks, if you're watching on YouTube right now, you see the sweet graphic. Shout out to the graphics department here at SGPN and Cam Kerr. The win total sitting at 5. And once again, my first reaction is get the fuck out of here. My first reaction is I locked it up last year. I'll do it again because I think this team could be better. I think the depth is better on this team. But let's talk about the schedule because so a year ago, the non-con was Liberty, who ended up beating Arkansas later in the year at Arkansas. The Miami Hurricanes, Tulane, and who was the 4th team on the schedule? Northwestern State. They ended up going 2-2 in the non-con. Probably should have went 3-1, but that Liberty game. I think this year is a harder non-con schedule, and I think it's fair to say that because you look and you see 2 Power 5s on there, and then Tulane, who's really good, just won the Cotton Bowl against USC a season ago. Let's hop on into it. Week 1, Saturday, September 2nd, the Alcorn State Braves come into town out of the SWAC. Shout out to the great Steve McNair. May he rest easy on the other side. But yes, this should be a win for Southern Miss. 1-0. All right, 1-0. Now is an interesting one. They head to Tallahassee to take on Florida State. Look, I know everyone's all over Florida State. But I'll tell you one thing. If Florida State beats LSU week 1, which I have LSU winning that game, but if they were to beat LSU in that Orlando game, I could see a letdown spot happening and Southern Miss maybe giving them a game. Now, we'll say Florida State because they're favored, but 1-1, and then the Tulane Green Wave come to town. Fritz against Hall yet again. Hall got the best of them in New Orleans. Oh, this game's going to be good. The battle for the bell rivalry. Let's favor Southern Miss. You're at home. I think it's anyone's game. Tulane will be favored in that game, though. So maybe let's play devil's advocate. Let's say they lose that, even though I think they can win that because they just won it last year. Let's talk about from a Vegas odds standpoint for a minute. I think they'll be 1-2 there. Then they're at Arkansas State, win. Home to Texas State, win. I love this stretch. Home to Old Dominion for homecoming on October 7th, win. And then you get your bye week. I think you'll be going into the bye week 4-2, maybe 5-1. I mean, you beat Tulane last year, and I think this team's better, and I think Tulane's worse. And it's in Hattiesburg. Fuck it. I'm going with it. 5-1. 5-1. The win total's at 5. You're going to be going into the bye week, folks, with a push. All right. Now, out of the bye week, it does get tough. You need that bye week because Tuesday night, I believe, at South Alabama and Mobile, and South Alabama is pretty loaded. But look, a year ago, this is a 1-score game. Can you take the next step? Now, I do think South Alabama is going to be very good this year, so I would favor South Alabama to win that game. Okay, so 5-2. Then you're at Appalachian State. That's a tough opponent to get on the second end of the back-to-back away. Also, I know Southern Miss is the real rock, but App State is very good at home. I'll even say that's a loss too, right? So 5-3. Then ULM comes to town. Terry Bowden, never fade a Bowden in a big game, says Patty C. I will fade him. I think that's your 6th win right there. Then on a Thursday night, they head to Cajun Field in Lafayette, Louisiana to take on the Raging Cajuns. And I think that's their 7th win. And then you're at back-to-back away, but you get a couple days off because it's a Thursday game. But you're at Starkville, Mississippi State. Love this game on the schedule. Please, Ole Miss and Mississippi State, make this happen more. We like regional football. This game's awesome. All right. And look, Mike Leach was a good friend of ours. We miss him every day, and we want to send his love or our love to his family and stuff. But there's a lot of question marks now at Mississippi State. They're ditching the air raid. They're going to the Kevin Barbay App State offense, which has a little bit of air raid wrinkles. Zach Arnett's never been a head coach before. He's like 35 years old, I feel like. So the youngest SEC coach, second youngest SEC coach ever to get a head coaching job. There's a lot of question marks. Another thing is Mississippi State has the Egg Bowl on deck, so it is a classic look-ahead spot. I think Southern Miss can win this game, but since I gave them the Tulane game already, let's say Mississippi State wins this. You're already on your over, by the way. And then you host the Troy Trojans on November 25th, which should be a game. You know, last year Troy did win by 17, but that was at Troy. This is at the Rock. I got Southern Miss as an upset special here, getting it done against the Troy Trojans. I think this is a home run over, folks. So I got them with what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wins. I got them going 8-4. Okay, if they lose to Tulane, 7-5, but you're still 2 games over the win total projection. Let's fucking go. And it wouldn't shock me if they upset South Alabama or App State either. Let's go. Give me the over. Lock it up. I feel great about this. I can't wait for the season. Let's get this thing going. Folks, I love the over. I'm on the over. Remember, we're breaking down all 133 college football teams. But look, before we get out of here, I had a chance to sit down with Michael Barker and talk about his experiences down to the Rock at Southern Miss, Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And, you know, I had a chance. College football campus tour. That's Michael Barker. He's been to every single college football stadium. So let's see what he says about the Rock. So with no further ado, here is that interview. Right on the college football experience, Southern Miss Eagles, Golden Eagles 2023 season preview episode is none other than college football campus tour. Yes. Wait, what? What does that mean? Just give the old Twitter page or X page, whatever you want to call this thing, at CFB Campus Tour a follow, and you'll know what I mean, because Michael Barker, the man behind College Football Campus Tour, does unbelievable work. He's been to every single FBS stadium in college football. That's all 133 of them. He's been to most of the FCS, a lot of D2, D3, and he documents all of his travels via his Twitter page. And it's not just like a Twitter page where it's talking about, I thought the Lakers should have won the other night or something like that. No, this is strictly college football stadium talk. It's absolutely fantastic. He goes to like 5, 6, 7 games a week some weeks. It's really unbelievable. So, Michael, I appreciate you hopping on the show to talk Southern Miss football and the Rock, aka MM Roberts Stadium. Man, how you doing?
I'm doing great, and the Sun Belt, the Southern Miss is a new addition. Just joined last year. I always try to go to those weeknight Fun Belt games, and I went to one recently, and had a great experience. So. Looking forward to talking about the original Rock.
The original Rock. All right. Not Dwayne Johnson. No, I'm joking. But look, I mean, this stadium, Southern Miss just does football right, in my opinion. I'm glad to see them leave the Conference USA and come to the Sun Belt because, like, it just fits their MO. It fits with App States. It fits with Marshalls. It fits with Georgia Southerns. It fits with South Alabama's. I love I just think they have great fans, and to me they're like low key one of my favorite programs. So tell me about the history of the stadium.
Yeah, I agree with you. First of all, they had that reputation. They'll take on anybody, anywhere. A lot of upsets in the late 90s, early 2000s, and they built a great fan base, like you said. So MM Roberts Stadium, it opened in 1932. It was originally named Faulkner Field and had a very modest beginning. It had 4,000-seat wooden grandstand. That's all it had. Over the decades, has grown to its current capacity, which is 36,000 seats. In 2008, they enclosed the stadium with a horseshoe in the south end zone. It's a really cool area. First of all, those seats are low and close to the field. There's a lot, you don't see that many end zone suites in a 36,000 seat stadium, but they got these outdoor seating areas that are connected to suites. Very cool. And at the top of that level, there's just a concrete, I'm going to call it patio. Obviously, it's not a patio, but it's a big walkway where you can look over at the entire stadium and take in the game. It's very cool. And the record crowd that they've ever had was their season opener in 2015. It was against in-state rival SEC team, Mississippi State, and they got 36,641.
Oh, I mean, and they're back on the schedule. They got to go to Starkville this year, but I am looking at that part of the stadium that you're talking about. This stadium looks awesome. I love the fact it's that old as well. It got some history behind it. It just seems cool, man. And their fan base is always so passionate, even in basketball and baseball. It's just great. Let me ask you, how many times have you been to the Rock?
So I've been to 2 games. The first one was in 2020. Talk about the COVID year, but it was the first week. And first of all, I couldn't get a ticket without buying season tickets. So guy from California bought season tickets to go to 1 game. And then on Twitter, I gave up the rest. That just was the way it was working. But it was also part game, part experiment, because that's when every other row was taped off, every other bath urinal was taped off. So you were just grateful to get football, but it was nothing close to an authentic Hattiesburg experience at the Rock. So when they joined the Sun Belt last year, they got put on the list for weeknight Fun Belt games. They had one against Louisiana. I think it was week 6 or week 7, went there, much better crowd, great vibe. They got 21 points up in the first quarter. Frank Gore Jr. played well. Brownlee had over 100 yards receiving, and they ended up winning 39-24. And Louisiana has been a great powerhouse in the Sun Belt the last couple of years. So it was a big victory. And, I'm always looking for opportunities to go back. I know that they have a road game against Louisiana rematch this year. But like you said, great fan base, very cool stadium, and one of those that, it kind of affirms what you think about football in the South. It's fun, they care a lot, and it's a great environment.
Hey, man, I mean, this just looks cool, man, and I feel like Sean Connery, welcome to the Rock. Yes, yes, I mean, I got to get there. It's high on my list, man. Well, Michael, I appreciate you hopping on the show. Folks, like I said, 5, 6, 7 games a week he's going to. Get the fuck out of here. That's more travel than I feel like. I'll go ahead and say AC/DC. All right. So give Michael a follow on Twitter at CFB Campus Tour. Michael, I appreciate you hopping on the show. And maybe one day I'll meet you at the Rock, man. Yeah, thank you. Any AC/DC comparison, I'll take it. So, but yeah, AC/DC in the '80s, not now. Okay, all right, that makes me feel better. So, all right, cool. Thank you, Colby. We'll see you next time. All right, brother. Take care. Appreciate you. Michael Barker. Look, I mean, I got to get down to the Hattiesburg and the Rock. Awesome college football experience. It looks like it from television. Folks, I'm on the over. Lock it up. Follow Michael Barker, by the way. Guy goes to every college football game. His travel schedule is fucking insane. Absolutely impressive stuff he's doing. I'm on the over. I feel very good about this one. Subscribe to the college football experience. Give us a follow on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. Give me a follow there, and we're going to be talking Sun Belt, Fun Belt all fucking year. So check us out. The college football experience, wherever podcasts can be found. YouTube.com/The College Experience to watch all this good fun. And I can't wait for the season. Give me the over. Check out the Sports Gambling Podcast as I break through it down all 32 NFL teams. Subscribe to the college basketball experience. Subscribe to the college baseball experience. Let's get it going. All these ones. All right. And make sure you join the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Always a lot of fun there. Get the SGPN app. It's free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. Until next time, folks, this is the college football experience, Southern Miss Golden Eagle style. Let's go, baby. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.